Today's recipe is for my friends that love tteokbokki, aka spicy rice cakes. I'm going to show you how to make the actual rice cakes from scratch using rice flour and potato starch. And if you don't have rice flour, you could substitute using your all-purpose wheat flour. Shh, don't tell the others, because this is my secret, super duper easy recipe that does not require pounding or hand kneading that super hot steamed rice dough. You do not have to do that to make delicious and chewy rice cakes at home. These rice cakes in Korean are called GaRaeTteok. Make sure to watch to the end because I'm going to show you how I enjoy my GaRaeTteok as an afternoon snack and also as my simple breakfast. 오늘의 레시피, 집에서 아주 쉽게 쫄깃쫄깃한 가래떡 만들기. 오늘도 여러분들과 영어로 함께 하겠습니다. And then you just have it with some coffee together. Pretty darn good. Hi everyone, this is Helen and welcome to Modern Pepper. 안녕하세요, Modern Pepper의 헬렌입니다. The ingredient list is also available in the description box below. To make our 가래떡 Korean rice cakes, we need half a cup of white rice flour. Unsifted is completely fine. And half a cup of 찹쌀가루 is basically sweet white rice flour. Now the product links for the rice flour called 쌀가루 and the sweet white rice flour called 찹쌀가루 will be in the description box below. Now if you cannot order these online because of where you live, you can use all-purpose wheat flour instead, and we will call that MilTteok. And I'll show you in a little bit how it looks using all-purpose flour. And to give it that chewy taste, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of potato starch. And to this, we're gonna add half a teaspoon of salt. Then I want you to just mix everything up like so. In a measuring cup, I'm gonna add about 3/4 quarter of hot water. It is really important to use hot water instead of cold water. And we're just gonna add a little bit at a time. And we're gonna use a fork to kind of mix it up like that. Then add a little more. And then we're just gonna add just a little bit more. And I want you to save about a 1/4 cup of hot water as a reserve. Continue mixing. Now, once you start seeing clusters like this, we're gonna take the fork out, then go in with your clean hands. And folks, I washed my hands thoroughly with antibacterial soap. It's very warm to touch right now. So what I want you to do is just kind of work it and try to make it kind of so that it becomes more solid together. Kind of squish and then kind of gather everything together. Gather your dough like this and press it down and try to combine everything together. And then once you get to a point where the dough is kind of hard like this and you have some left over here, then we're gonna take the rest of our water and just add half of it. So you could always add more. And then we're gonna kind of go in here and kind of mop up the rest and kind of incorporate it together. Now everything kind of is sticking, so we have one big ball like this. And your bowl is completely clean. Then what you want to do is kind of press it down, and then I want you to add a little bit of the water. So I still have a decent amount left, and then I want you to kind of squish it. So we want to get to a point where it feels like Play-Doh. You know, it's not completely dry, but it's still wet, so that when you touch it, you could feel the moisture in your hand, but it doesn't stick to you. Right now, this consistency is perfect. And I have about like 1/8 cup of the hot water left. Then I want you to set your timer to 8 minutes, and we're just gonna knead our dough. So you go down, squish it down, and then you rotate your bowl like this. And you keep on doing this. Turn and squish, turn and squish. Turn and squish, and do this for 8 minutes. Now, for those of you that have stand mixers at home, use the dough blade, and I would double the recipe, so I would use that if you have it. This kneading process is important. This is way, way easier than, like I mentioned earlier, pounding that super hot steamed rice dough. Let me tell you, it's a backbreaker. I tried it and it's not worth it. Like, I don't know, I just wouldn't do it. I want you to knead for at least 2 minutes. If at the end of 2 minutes, your dough is still really wet and sticky, then add 1 tablespoon of the rice flour and knead again, and then that should kind of help with the excess moisture. But we want to get to a point where your hands are relatively clean, like so, okay? And 8 minutes later, your dough should be really soft. And I just want you to shape it into a ball. Tuck, tuck, turn, tuck, tuck, turn. Once you turned it into a nice ball like this, put it in the center, and then we're gonna cover it with a plastic wrap, seal it tight, and no need to add oil. We don't use oil when we make Korean duck. And then cover it with a kitchen towel and let it hang out like this on your kitchen counter for 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, so let's take a look. The size of our dough should be the same. We're not looking to bloat them because there's no yeast in it. Pick it up and put it on a dry surface. You don't need to dust it because you should feel right now like Play-Doh, where you feel the moisture in your hands, but it's not sticking to anything. Today I'm going to show you 5 different ways of shaping your rice cakes, 가래떡. We're going to kind of flatten it and turn it into like a square, and then we're going to cut it down the middle, and then we're going to cut it here in the middle again and make 4 equal blocks. We're going to leave 1 block here, and then the other 3 we're going to put it to the side and cover it with the saran wrap. So it's important to keep your dough moist by covering with a saran wrap. So this is the first shape that I'm going to show you. Just roll it out so it's kind of like a fat cigar, and this is what we would use to make our 떡국떡, the rice cake soup that we have on New Year's Day, but you could eat it of course throughout the year. So we're going to make it fat, and I'm going to show you how you slice them into oval shaped 떡 later on. Put this to the side. As you shape your rice cake pieces, make sure to keep it covered with a plastic wrap. Now with the second block, I'm going to show you how to make the tteokbokki for our spicy rice cakes dish. So same thing, just roll it out. So you start from the center, gently press, and then roll out to the side, and again. And the key is to go slow and try to make it even as possible. Once you get to this kind of thickness, what you want to do is cut it down the middle, line it up again, and then cut it down the middle. So this shape would be for our tteokbokki. So you see the edge kind of is coming apart. So you just want to press it down with your finger a little bit, like that, pat it down. It's still going to be so delicious. So these are ready. And for this third block, I'm going to show you how to make a bite-sized one, perfect to have with your tteokbokki. So if you go to the Korean supermarket, you'll notice that there's your tteokbokki that comes in many different sizes. I'm going to make a bite-sized one with you. So again, you roll it out to the same shape as our tteokbokki one that we just made. Always kind of pat down the ends. And then what you want to do is literally go from one end, and we're going to go at an angle like this. Press it down. So it literally is 1 bite size. And just like our first one, when there's ends that are kind of sticking out like that, just pat it down with your fingertip. With our last block, I'm going to show you 2 other shapes. I'm going to cut it down the middle, save this one. What we're going to make are these cute little balls, shaped ones. My kids love them. Again, just roll it out. I'm going to cut it down the middle and then cut it again. 1, 2, 3. Take each piece like that and then put it in your hand, and it's easy as that. Like you just turn them into tiny little balls. So look at how cute they are. Aren't they cute? And for our last little dough here, I'm gonna turn them into fat noodle shaped ones. So easy to do because it really feels like you're playing with Play-Doh. So you just keep on pressing with your palm, go slow, Start from the middle and then push it out and out and out. Keep on going until they become literally like udon-sized noodles. And any section that's thicker than the other, just roll on it. There you have it, look. Your fat noodles at home that you just made. Make sure to cover our shaped rice cakes, 가래떡, with plastic wrap while we get our pot of boiling water ready. In a big pot, I want you to bring your water to boil, and I have my water about 2/3 to the top. And to this, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of salt. So it's the same idea as salting your water before you boil your Italian pasta. Then we're gonna add our shaped rice cakes, starting with the biggest one into the pot, and our TteokBokki ones, and our bite-sized ones, and our tiny balls, and our fat noodles. Then quickly, I want you to go in with your fine mesh strainer and just kind of lift up the stuff that fell to the bottom, kind of help them swim around. Your heat remains at high, and as soon as your duck floats to the top, you just want to let it cook for another 30 seconds, and then it's ready. Notice how I have a big bowl with ice and cold water. It's been less than 1 minute of boiling at high heat, and look, our fat noodles are floating to the top. So I'm just gonna let this cook for another 30 seconds, and then we're gonna pull it out. Our fat noodles are ready. Just take it out with your strainer and into our ice bath. Once our noodles kind of hang out in here for 1 minute, because you don't want to let the noodles sit in here for a long time either, I want you to take it out and then place it on our strainer and let that hang out here while the rest of the stuff. So again, our little guys are ready to come out into the ice bath. Whatever floats to the top, and you wait 30 seconds and it's ready. Beautiful. And into our ice bath. And we're gonna turn our heat off. And it's also important to not let the duck soak in the cold water for more than like a minute, minute and a half, right here. We're gonna cover with our plastic wrap. And it's so important to let this rest on a strainer because it still needs to cool down, and the last thing you want to do is put this on a plate and the excess water making the bottom of our duck all soggy. Quickly, we want to place this in our fridge and let it cool down for at least 1 hour or till next day. I mean, you could just eat this right now. 쫄깃쫄깃하고 맛있습니다. It's so chewy and yummy. It's like sticking to my mouth. Oh. That's why we love Korean rice cakes, right? And an hour later in the fridge, our duck looks like this. Now it's firm, and it will also hold its shape better. Look at that. Here is a tray of homemade 가래떡 that you can make at home. Isn't it so pretty? And here's some that I made using all-purpose wheat flour and potato starch. Let's have a taste test. Just as chewy as the rice cakes, but this made with all-purpose flour, we call that MilTteok in Korean, and it's more of a, very humble, economical choice. It is really important to note that these homemade rice cakes, 가래떡, will not be as firm as the ones that you would buy at your local supermarket. Those are made using these industrial grade machines, which makes it super chewy and super firm. When it comes to cooking these homemade rice cakes, make sure to reduce the cooking time to half compared to the ones that you would buy at the store. Now that you made your homemade rice cakes, make sure to check out my 3-minute super easy and simple tteokbokki recipe, as well as the traditional tteokbokki recipe with rice cakes, ramyeon, and hard-boiled eggs, my 7-minute tteokbokki recipe. The video links will be in the description box below and also tagged up here. Now, when it comes to slicing your 떡국떡, it is really important that you let this cool down in the fridge for at least 12 hours or 24 hours because you want it to be that rock hard. So all you have to do is just go diagonally and cut it this way. So it looks like that, 떡국떡. And just keep on going. I would make a big batch, and then I would put them in freezer bags. And these big guys, I would wrap them individually like so, and put them in here, and then store it in the fridge as I eat through it. Here is my quick and simple afternoon snack. Set your heat to high and place your frying pan, and I want you to preheat it for about a minute or two. Once your frying pan is preheated, I want you to lower your heat to medium. Then I want you to add 1 tablespoon of butter and let this melt. Just about halfway, like so. We're gonna add 4 sticks of your 가래떡. As the butter melts, I want you to kind of move it around. We're just gonna toast these in butter until it's golden brown on both sides. So once it's toasted like this, golden brown, then we're gonna flip everything over. We're just gonna toast the other side until it's golden brown as well. It'll take about 1.5 to 2 minutes on each side. And look at that, look how beautiful that looks. Once it's golden brown on both sides, we're gonna transfer it to a plate. And then while it's hot, we're gonna drizzle some honey like that. Oh yeah, you know it's gonna be good. I have some slivered almonds, and we could just add a few on top if you like or don't like, it's fine. And then I'm gonna add more honey on top to make it ooey and gooey and sticky. Yes, this is your afternoon snack, so you gotta make it super yum, huh? There you have it. And for my quick breakfast, I would just grab one of these frozen ducks. Now, once my toaster oven is preheated, I would add this in here. I would air fry this for about 8 to 9 minutes, and it's gonna come out so delicious. And 8 minutes later, look how good and toasty it looks. So because this was frozen, now just let it rest in your toaster oven for 5 minutes so the inner core gets nice and warm. Look how good that looks. Look at that. It's like crunchy outside, like pretzels. Oh, time to taste. I mean, this as your afternoon snack, I'm just saying it's gonna be so good. Just the right amount of sweetness from the honey and then the almonds and of course our duck. Oh, my favorite. You just break it in half like this. You have to blow on it because it's really hot. It literally is carb heaven in my mouth. It's so good. That's all I could say. And then you just have it with some coffee together. Pretty darn good. I want to thank you for watching today, and if you enjoyed watching today's video, I want to kindly ask you to click on that thumbs up icon and subscribe if you haven't done so, and hit that notification bell. 여러분 오늘 재밌게 보셨으면 꼭 좋아하는 버튼과 구독 버튼도 눌러주세요. 다음 영상에서 뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다. Alright folks, I will see you in one of the videos you see right here.